So hello everyone and welcome back to another video here today from my Phenomenal Figures. Welcome back to a Raw review. Now the reason I'm doing it like this is because it takes less editing than to get the images and to put them on the screen and to do all that. So I guess you do have to download them all, which you can just press download, but then you have to put them all in. So I thought I don't have a lot of time to do this video, so I just thought that I would run through it like this with just the Raw. You can still get the images. It's fine doing it this way. You're just going to scroll through the images. Same thing. I don't think there's any difference. I think it works this way. And I get to just talk about the show. Okay, so Raw last night. I thought it was a decent show. I was quite tired last night. And I was kind of like not fully paid attention on the show. And I was a bit zoned out. So it will be good to go through it and to actually talk about it. And to tell my thoughts on this Raw. I do want to talk about this Raw though. Because some major things did happen. I actually did think that this was somewhat of a decent Raw. Like, there was some good moments on this Raw. Of course, we're going to talk about it, but there was some good moments on this Raw, man. It was still a decent Raw. I still enjoyed it for the most part. There was some good stuff. But I think Raw's been better than SmackDown. SmackDown's been atrocious. You know what? I think I might leave the Drew and Cody and Randy and Jacob Fatu stuff, all that stuff going on SmackDown for another video. I don't know if I'm going to cram it into this video today. I'm just going to talk about Raw right now. But the Road to WrestleMania has definitely been better than last year. I will say that. Let's start off with the show. So Adam Pearce comes out to the middle of the ring. The Open Up Pro, Adam Pearce. He says that he wants to have a face-to-face conversation with Seth Rollins about the vision. I'm just going to skip to the next image. Then Seth Rollins comes out. And Seth Rollins just stands there and says nothing. Adam Pearce says to Seth Rollins that I know you want to get back at the vision. I totally understand that. I do not like the vision either, but it's time that you stop because you are not medically cleared. It's something that you stop attacking them because eventually they're going to get your hands on you, and then that will be the end of Seth Rollins as we know it. That's what he said. Seth just basically stood there, said nothing. Hold on. Then Logan Paul comes out. Logan Paul, of course, member of the Vision. He comes out and he says that Seth Rollins, basically, we're going to beat you up. Yeah, you know, like, I can't even remember the promo was that bland, but he basically said, like, we're going to put an end to... Oh, no, basically they said, like, you put Paul Heyman in a hospital, so now we're going to beat you up. That was the basis of the promo. You get it. Can I flick like this? Then, basically, just as they're about to attack Seth Rollins, we got one of the weirdest spots on TV. What in the cartoon goofy hell book was this? What the hell was this, right? So basically you got a bunch of masked men coming in the ring. Rollins is standing in the middle of the ring. Then a bunch of masked men come in. They all run around in a circle. What the actual hell am I watching? I'm sitting there, I'm laughing, I'm like, this is the most corny, goofiest booking ever. It's like Retribution in the Big 2026. It's like, so basically Rollins gets away, he's doing a coward way of getting away from the Vision, because he's by himself, basically. But no, he's not really, because he does have the Usos and LA Knight to back him up, if you think about it. If Rollins thinks about it, he wouldn't have to do this crappy, stupid booking with the black hoodies. You could have just brought out the Usos and LA Knight. They got brought out after this. So this is just for Rollins to get away. Well, couldn't we have brought out them and then Rollins gets away instead of doing a mystery? Which one is Seth Rollins in the mask? What was this? Like, they had a bunch of masked men run around the ring, so Rollins could run away, right? Rollins could get out of there. It looked goofy as hell. It's obviously like that some of these are not going to be Seth Rollins. Like, look at this guy right here. Look at this big dude. Is that okay? Looks. I thought it was Keith Lee, but when I was seeing this, I was like, "Is that Keith Lee?" I don't know if he works for AEW right now, so maybe he's going. Like, maybe he's just doing this. Sometimes they get wrestlers to do these things, you know. But no, it's not Keith Lee because he has white hand, white skin. But this was like goofy as hell. This was super corny. I was like, what the hell am I watching here? This was so stupid because it's obvious which one's Seth Rollins. Like, can the Vision just look him up when is Seth Rollins? Anyways, moving on. Okay, moving on. We got LA Knight in Austin Theory's jacket. Skipping. It's not skipping. My bad. Then we got the Usos, right? They come out with LA Knight. They take out Logan Paul. They take out Austin Theory. They could have just took out They could have just brought out the Usos, brought out LA Knight, Rollins escapes instead of that goofy hoodie thing, but they didn't. That was basically all this segment was. The division get attacked. They run away. That's it. They leave. The Usos and LA Knight beat them down. Then we move on to this gauntlet match. We get Lyra Valkyria. I think she's a good wrestler, but I didn't think she was like the greatest here, if you get what I mean, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, so I sorted out an ad blocker. We are all good. Lyra into the gauntlet match. I thought her wrestling was okay in this match. Her wrestling was with Io. This was a bit sloppy, but basically Io Sky advances. She beats Lyra Valkyria. Then Raquel Rodriguez comes out. She takes out Io Sky. Johanna Bomb takes her out a little bit before the match. During the match. Io ends up pinning... I don't know what the images, they're not really showing everything, but anyways, Io ends up pinning Raquel Rodriguez to advance. Then Raquel Rodriguez, after the match, attacks her. Johanna Bomb to the outside. She wipes her out. Out comes Ivy Nile. Ivy Nile ends up eliminating Io. Then it's down to Bayley, and now it's Bayley and Ivy Nile. Bayley ends up pinning Ivy Nile to advance to the next person, to the next, I keep saying round, but the next contender to come out. Next one is Asuka. Asuka battles it off with Bayley. And then Bayley ends up winning the match with help from Lyra Valkyria. Oh yeah, and Stephanie Valkyria also got involved with the Raquel stuff, same with Liv, so there was a bit of like a stuff going on there with that. Anyways, next up we had Penta. He cut a pretty good promo. It was a pretty passionate promo talking about how he used to be poor on the streets and that he was made a fighter and he will stay a fighter and he will stay a strong fighting champion for his next reign. And he said he wanted to thank like his family and his friends and his brother, and he said that he did it for his son, his family, and his friends. It was a good promo. It was good. There was some passion to it. I liked it. Then it was meant to be El Grande Americano, like as in what's his name, bloody thing. They don't show backstage pictures in this, which is annoying. But anyways, Chad El Grande, original El Grande, got cursed by Danhausen because he wouldn't let Danhausen try on his mask. So then it was Ludwig Kaiser El Grande because Chad El Grande got cursed for the Intercontinental Championship. It was a decent enough match with some high flying action in there, but in the end of the day, Penta ends up retaining. Now apparently Danhausen had a promo in the ring, which I skipped it because I don't know why, I didn't really know. I actually didn't know what happened. So then I skipped this Danhausen promo because I didn't realize that it was on the show. Then afterwards I seen it was on the show. He was just talking about t-shirts. I went and I watched it. I see the clip of it. He basically was just talking about t-shirts. And he's over. I love Danhausen. He's so funny. Okay, Penta retains like I already said. I don't know why they have this match. Like this match is here, right? And then in the middle of it, they'd have Danhausen. And then we go back to this match. Penta winning. I don't know. It makes no sense. Anyways, earlier in the night, Judgment Day had before this segment, Dominic said to them, have you seen Finn Balor? And Liv also said to Raquel, don't worry, we'll get back at Stephanie. And you'll get your way into Mania, right? So then we go out to the ring. Dominic comes out with Raquel and Liv, and he asks, where is Finn Balor? He asks Finn, come out. We have been looking for you all night. And he basically also says he wants a rematch with Penta. Finn Balor walks out, and then Dominic's like, where have you been? We've been looking for you. What the hell, man? You cost me my title match last week. So then Finn's like, well, you know what, Dom? I've been trying to mentor you for the past 3 years. And last week, I'm sorry, it was my fault. But I did tell you, sometimes, Dom, you gotta fight your own battles. Then Finn says, I think your father was right. Your dad was right. You are just a little coward or a little bitch or something like that. Oh no, you are just a little prick. They blurred it. That's why I didn't know. Because they bloody blurred the word. That's why I forgot exactly what he said. Because they blurred it. He said, you are just a little prick, Dom. I think that's so funny because as a person that comes from, as a Irish guy, Irish man, as someone that's from Ireland, we say prick a lot. Like, prick's like a word that we'd say. Like, if you're being an asshole, you're being an idiot. You're a prick, you know? He's a prick. they're that prick, you know. That's kind of like what that's what we would say. So that was hilarious to hear to hear Finn use the Irish slang prick. It's quite an Irish slang word, I would say. So anyways, then basically Finn Finn ends up doing a Pele kick, which I was like, yes, finally! I like screamed, yes, finally! Finally! Finn Balor is out of the Judgment Day, man. Finally, he can flourish on his own. He can be the Finn that we all know that is there. I think he was good. He was good in the Judgment Day like a while ago when it first started, and then for a while he was good with Damian. But I think for like the past year now, he hasn't been the greatest in the group, and he's just kind of been floating around doing some stuff. I really enjoyed the stuff he did with Punk, and I didn't think he was going to win, which I thought that was really good. So now that can lead to him versus Dominic. Dominic wins the title back with the Judgment Day on his side because the Judgment Day turned their back on Finn Balor. Finn Balor is done, man. It was like Finn takes out Dominic, right? Finn Balor sling blades him. JD gets in the way, right? I'm like, JD, what's JD gonna do? What is JD gonna do? I was like, what is he going to do, bro? I'm getting so excited because I'm just so excited to talk about the segment. But I was like, what is JD gonna do? You know, because is JD gonna be on Finn's side? Is JD gonna be on the rest of the side, like Liv and Raquel and Dominic, like the Judgment Day? And no, JD clothesline Finn Balor. I guess this does work if you keep JD with the Judgment Day, because I think he would struggle on his own. JD is someone that I couldn't see doing too well on his own, maybe like in the mid card, but he get a bit lost in the shuffle. Dominic, Liv, and Raquel, I think they'd be fine on their own and they'd flourish fine on their own. But JD is someone that I just don't know how well he could do because of how they buck JD as well in the Judgment Day. And also you got Roxanne there as well. Roxanne might join forces with Finn Balor when she comes back. I wouldn't be too surprised if she does join forces, or they could keep her in the Judgment Day and she ends up turning with Dominic on Liv. They could do that. Like, it could be a possibility that she does go with Finn because she's not really the biggest fan of Liv. She does have, so. And Finn did bring in Roxanne. Don't forget, Finn brought in Roxanne, so Roxanne could always go over with Finn's side of things. But right now, Finn's going to be a solo competitor. I really like JD and Finn together because they're both Irish, and I love to see two Irish guys going out there together. It's great. You love seeing it. And I thought they were a really good duo. But I guess for Finn to be on his solo reign, I guess that you can't have. I'm just trying to look for a good picture of like them all standing there. There we go. This one will do. I guess for a Finn solo reign, you can't really have it, man. So, yeah, I guess JD can stay with the Judgment Day. I like this. It will still work. He's pretty funny in the Judgment Day with these guys. Thought he had the best chemistry with Finn, but he still has good chemistry with Dom and Raquel. I guess is kind of funny. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see what where this goes. Now that Finn wouldn't let Dom cheat, and he said do it by yourself, that made Dom lose to Penta. So now they're going to do Dom wins it back with the Judgment Day on his side because Finn wasn't on his side there because they want to be cheaters. That's the message I get here, that Dominic's winning it back with the Judgment Day helping him cheat, because they were like, Finn, we cheat. That's our way. You don't like that? Get out of here. I really liked the segment. That's the message I got from it. Can't wait to see Dominic win it back. Then Finn finally gets his title at WrestleMania, because I'm sorry to Penta, but I feel like he's losing. Gonna slow down a bit. I had a lot to fit in there. I don't want to talk for too long on these reviews, so I'll try to keep them short enough. But anyways, then we had Obafemi versus Rusev. This was an okay match. I would almost call this a squash match, to be honest. Rusev had a few enough blows in there, but it was 2 minutes, and Obafemi ends up hitting that big throw he does. I can't remember the exact move, and then what do they call his finisher? Hail from Mary or something like that. Incredible powerbomb, man. Absolutely sick. Anyways, then we get to our closing segment. We got one more thing to talk about on this Raw, and then we are done, man. Thought this Raw was really good. The Judgment Day stuff was really good. Same with this segment right here. Okay, so before we do move on to the main event, I just want to mention that there was also Natalya was cutting a promo and she got attacked by Maxine Dupree. And Stephanie Valkyrie cut a pretty good vignette talking about how Liv's career was different to her, how Liv had a better start to her career than she did, and she was poor, raised on the streets, that kind of promo. It was a good promo. I enjoyed it. That was pretty much all I wanted to talk about. There may have been some other backstage stuff. Oh no, actually, I just remembered it now. Some of it's not the most important, so don't bother mentioning it all. But anyways, something else that happened on the show was Ow! Sorry, I just banged my leg. Something else that happened in the show is that Kofi Kingston went up to Javon and he was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry that I took my anger out on you. I actually see a lot of me in you, and that if you need help and you need guidance, need help to win a title, join forces with me and Woods, pretty much. Join forces with me. I'll see you out there in the ring next week." I think that this could actually be a really good storyline. I really liked the way that they were doing this. I think it can be a really good storyline. I really liked that. I thought it was really cool. A really good segment there. It would be very cool to see Javon Evans join forces with Kofi. Kofi's face, kick Waller out of this. Waller doesn't need to be involved with this. Woods is injured. He comes back in a few weeks and he's not cool with it. He's still a heel. Kofi's moved on with Javon. He's a face. He's now guiding Javon. Javon's picking up wins. He's having momentum. When Xavier comes back one week, Xavier's like, "What's going on here, Kofi? What's going on, man? He was our enemy a few weeks ago. What is going on with you? You've turned soft again, man. You've turned soft." And then that could lead to maybe Xavier being not involved with Javon and Kofi, and that could be Kofi versus Xavier feud, because I think that could be an incredible feud where Kofi's face, Xavier's heel, because I think maybe it would be good to split up the New Day for a while, I think. Or you could have Xavier, Kofi, and Javon be a trio that are all faces. Either way, I think it works really good, and I kind of might see that what they do there. Anyways, CM Punk comes out to the ring. He cuts a little promo basically talking about how, beats around the bush about how, yet again he says it about how Roman isn't always there, how he's not like the fighting champion. He says this every week, man. He says this every week, right? So then basically that was that, and he basically said, he mentioned that he was in trouble for what he said last week. Usos come out. Earlier on the show, the Usos did say that they want to have a word with CM Punk. So, Usos come out. The Usos get in the ring. They get a pull in Punk's face. They get up in his grill. Jay goes up to Punk first, and Jay is like, Oos, I want you to apologize for what you said last week. I want you to apologize to Sika, right? Really, really good promo from Jay and Jimmy here. Jay was quite Jay was coming in hot, where Jimmy was quite cool and quite calm and quite collected, where Jay was going in at him, and Jimmy was just more chill about it, which I liked the way they did. Jay was the one who was kind of attacking him. Jimmy was chill. I liked the way they did that. I thought that really worked well. Both of them bouncing off each other in this promo, where one was hot, one was coming in heavy. One was coming in heavy, one was coming in slow, chill. Really liked that. Thought that was really cool. Then Punk's response to that was that you believe that Sika can see us. Sorry, is it Alpha or Sika that's Roman's father? Either one of them, but I think it's Sika, right? Sika, you said Sika can see us. He said, I didn't always have the greatest relationship, CM Punk said this, with Sika, but Alpha, Sika used to, you know them pretty well. CM Punk says that they used to give him a meal, they used to give him a place to stay, he used to watch them as their shows, they used to give him knowledge, he used to be backstage at the shows, and you would learn knowledge from them, and he said that everybody in the Bloodline family has shown respect to him, but Roman Reigns, which I thought this was really good. He said, I respect you guys, Jimmy, Jay, you guys are my friends, I respect your family, we go way back. Loved the segment, by the way, really good stuff. Then Punk, and then the Usos go again, you don't get it, Us, this ain't about Roman, we want you to apologize, we don't care about that, we want you to apologize. Then Punk, you're like, is he gonna apologize? I knew he wasn't. Punk goes, I'm sorry that Roman has treated you guys so bad. I'm sorry that he never apologized to you guys. And I'm sorry that he tricks you all into thinking that he is the tribal chief, that he is this great leader to the crowd, to the audience, to the fans watching at home. This is what Punk says. He said, I'm sorry to all you who support Roman Reigns because he's nothing but a coward, something like that. And he does it by himself. Then basically the Usos just take him out. I really wanted to see the Usos like 1D Punk's ass and leave him out, but I like the way they did it here as well, where basically they just left it there. The Usos leave, and that is how Monday Night Raw ends. I don't know why we got another show of Punk holding up the title, but the Usos take him out. They leave. Really, really good segment here. I really enjoyed this segment, man. Please let me know what you thought about Raw. down in the comments below. I really wanted to do a video today, so I just woke up and I was just like, you know what, let's do a Raw review, man. I don't always do these, but when something excites me on the show and I want to talk about it, I'll talk about it. But if it's a boring week, nah, you probably won't see me talk about it, because I only really like doing it when I'm positive sometimes, and or if it's like something that pisses me off to be negative. If it's just boring stuff, then no. If it's something that pisses me off, I'll talk about it. If it's something that excites me, talk about it. If it's something that's boring, nah, not really going to bother touching base on it. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't, depending if I'm in the mood to make a video. It's just kind of sometimes if I got time, if I'm in the mood, that kind of thing. Anyways, the things that I enjoy about Raw right now is Roman, Punk. I think they're on fire. The Usos being involved this week was really good. Since Roman couldn't be there, Roman's going to be there next week. Finn, Dominic, JD, the entire Judgment Day story I think is really good right now. Liv and Stephanie Vaquer, their storyline is hot right now. Hot, very good storyline. As on hot, I mean it's a good storyline. No, it's on fire. It's a good storyline. And then I also like the storyline of I like Danhausen cursing people, Randy Drew, Jacob Fatu, Cody Rhodes. That shenanigans. It's okay. Hasn't been the greatest. Don't like the way Drew's being booked as a coward heel. But yeah, they're kind of the things I like on Raw right now. Please let me know your thought on the show. I'll give the show like a 7 out of 10. I thought it was decent enough, because like the segment, the stuff that I mentioned, it was good enough. And I thought the Gauntlet match was good enough as well. So it was a decent enough show. I will give it some credit. I enjoyed it. So thank you a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my Flaunt Figures if you're newer here. 90% of you guys that are watching are not subscribed. So please hit that subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button, or Randy Orton will RKO your ass. My Flaunt Figures out. Thanks.